Yeah, you hear about them parties? Nah, that wasn't for me. No, sir.
What's that? That's Mob King?
Niggas feeling marvelous. You heard?
You gotta get the shoes though. Y'all know what it is.
Beanie Sigel was the shit.
Yeah, he was fired.
And they will only let Beanie Sigel only sell so many records. This came from an executive. For Beanie, they would you couldn't be bigger than Jay-Z on Jay-Z's label.
The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, alleges that rapper Jay-Z, along with Diddy, indecently assaulted her at a New York house party in the year 2000 following the MTV Video Music Awards.
Holmes attended the award show with his then girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez.
Word on the street is that Diddy might actually be staring down a life sentence. And now, the rumors are going wild. Folks say he's cutting a secret deal with the feds and ready to spill major names for a shot at a lighter sentence. But he ain't just throwing shade at randoms. He's allegedly naming some real industry giants. And guess who's at the top of that list? His longtime friend, Jay-Z. And now Beanie Sigel's jumping in, adding fuel to the fire. He's warning that Jay needs to run while there's still time. According to Beanie, Diddy's got some deep, dark secrets about Jay that stretch all the way back to the 90s. And apparently, it's way worse than any of us imagined. So now the big question is, what does Beanie really know about whatever was going down between Jay and Diddy behind the scenes? And let's be real, is Diddy really about to crack under the pressure and turn everybody in? From what's being whispered, it sounds like the heat is getting to him. Real bad. Sources close to the case claim he's facing heavy charges, possibly life behind bars. And in those kinds of situations, even the biggest names in the game start looking for a way out. Now here's where it gets even messier. The streets are saying Diddy's not planning to go down alone. Allegedly, he's ready to throw anyone under the bus to save himself. And that includes Jay-Z. But this drama didn't just start yesterday. Don't forget, last year Diddy's son, Christian, dropped that diss track Pick a Side, where he basically called out all of his dad's celebrity friends, warning them that staying silent wouldn't be safe. The message was loud and clear, and it looks like some folks didn't listen. Not only did Jay-Z keep quiet when Diddy's world started crumbling, he took it a step further. He had his top lawyer, Alex Spiro, come out and publicly claim that Jay and Diddy were never even friends.
I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, just like in all professions. People know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. If you go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work. There is no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. That's all that there is. He doesn't know anything about the charges or allegations against him. He has nothing to do with that case. And there's nothing more to say.
That move shocked a lot of people, and apparently it sent Diddy over the edge. Insiders say Diddy completely lost it after hearing that. Now, folks close to him are saying he's done playing it cool and is ready to do whatever it takes to protect himself, even if it means spilling all of Jay-Z's darkest secrets. And this is exactly why Beanie Sigel's warning suddenly hits way harder. Beanie wasn't just some artist under Jay. He was one of Jay's most loyal soldiers during the whole Rockefeller era. He had Jay's back in the studio and in the streets. Beanie even stayed solid when it meant doing time. But when things flipped and Beanie was facing his own legal problems, Jay-Z went ghost. No support, no loyalty back. Fast forward to now, Diddy's looking at serious time, maybe even life. And once again, Jay is nowhere to be found. The silence is loud, and Diddy's patience has reportedly run out. Let's not forget, Diddy and Jay weren't just industry buddies. They've been linked since the 90s. That means Diddy had front row seats to everything that went down behind the scenes. We're talking secret business moves, street-level connections, and how certain people got shielded when the feds started circling. If Diddy starts naming names, it could blow up everything. So if Diddy really is about to start naming names, he could be ready to expose how Jay-Z kept his image squeaky clean while letting guys like Beanie Sigel take the fall. That kind of truth bomb wouldn't just shake up Jay's reputation, it would confirm everything Beanie's been saying for years. Now let's break it down with some context on Beanie's side of the story. Back in the early 2000s, Beanie wasn't just another artist signed to Rockefeller, he was one of the heavy hitters. He helped put the label on the map in a major way. He had his own clothing line, state property, and even starred in movies under that brand. Beanie wasn't just riding with the team, he was building an empire alongside them. But things started getting messy real quick. Around 2004, Rockefeller began falling apart. Jay-Z and Dame Dash were beefing behind closed doors, each one trying to take control. Beanie got caught smack in the middle of that war. He stayed loyal to both sides. But when the dust settled and Jay-Z came out on top, thanks to a new power move with Def Jam, Beanie started getting iced out. Suddenly, the guy who helped carry the brand wasn't part of the inner circle anymore. And that's where the betrayal started to really sting. Around the same time all this label drama was going down, Beanie caught some serious federal charges. But did Jay step in to support him? Not even close. No lawyers, no money, no backup, nothing. For someone who bled for Rockefeller and helped build the whole movement from the ground up, that kind of cold shoulder hit hard. Beanie felt abandoned.
Right now I'm facing weapons violations, attempted murder. They try and get aboard 20 to 40 years. They came to me with a deal. Their deal was 18 to 36 years. Of course, I turned it down. Thought this was America, people. Guilty until proven innocent, huh?
And now it looks like everything he's been saying might be getting some backup from Diddy's situation. When Beanie landed behind bars, he really thought his Rockefeller crew, especially Jay-Z, would ride for him. But what did he get instead? Straight up silence. Beanie's opened up in interviews, saying he felt completely abandoned and straight up betrayed by Jay.
You got me. So at that time, when, I'm going to court, and we about to be on tour. We on tour. So
A whole nother tour.
Yeah, we on a whole nother tour. So, I'm going for my bail hearing in the feds. And the judge asked Jay, everybody's saying all these good things and all that. The character witnesses, Dame, and, everybody's saying, and even Jay said a whole lot of good things about me, and the judge was going to let me go. Monitor. And she said, would you be willing, and that's the part that people don't, would you be willing to be responsible for his whereabouts, not be responsible for my actions, just his whereabouts? Would you be willing to do that? Provide us with all the information, saying that he's going to be here, there. And after all that good, he said no. But it was like the way he said it, and he put his head down, he was like, no, I've never been crushed like that ever in my life. Cause I'm like, damn, this is my man, like, and I looked at it like, all right, no. What if I had to get the out of there? I'm in jail, I'm stood tall, all my, but what if I really needed to go? This was going in my mind. Like,
get out of jail, you say?
Bro, I had attempted in the state and the federal government and all this shit. The 40 years is over. This is what I'm facing, 40 years.
Right.
What if in my mind, I'm thinking like, damn, what if I really needed to roll? Be on a run and go. Like, I'm from this my man and I love him. If he skipped that, I'm getting my man, I'm getting him out by any means necessary. So for me to look him in his eyes and I'm shackled around the wrist, ankles and everything, and the man was like, oh. Like that fucked me up. It took everything in me not to let one go. Like that took away a lot of that I thought that we had.
Right.
Like that's big bro.
Now here's the twist. While Jay kept his distance, Dame Dash did show up. Dame stood by Beanie during the trial, made sure people saw him there in court, and proved Beanie wasn't left to fight alone. That loyalty hit different.
Up here 5 in the morning, caught a flat.
We caught a flat in Dame's van on the turnpike. We gotta wait for the spare to come.
We're running a little late. And I gotta get suited up, booted up. And, you know, he is our brother, so we will be there to support him. Hit us a rock, we are family.
Meanwhile, while Beanie was tied up in legal trouble, Jay was out dropping the Black Album and doing a whole retirement stunt, just to come back a few months later like nothing happened. And by 2005, Rockefeller was falling apart for real. Jay slid into the big chair at Def Jam, while Dame and Big started doing their own thing. But Beanie, he was stuck in limbo. That same year, Beanie dropped his third album, The Becoming, a project filled with raw emotion and bars, most of it recorded while he was still fighting his court case. The album had serious potential, but it didn't get the push it needed. Jay wasn't showing support, and it was clear Beanie wasn't a priority anymore. Even worse, Beanie's hinted over the years that Jay didn't just ignore him, he actively blocked him from making other moves. He said Jay stopped him from taking other deals, keeping him locked into the Rockefeller brand while barely lifting a finger to boost his career. To Beanie, it felt like being trapped, loyal to a team that wasn't loyal back. Then in 2009, things exploded. Beanie dropped a diss track called What You Talking About, and there was no sugarcoating it. That track was clearly aimed at Jay-Z, and Beanie let it all out. He straight up called Jay fake and selfish, accusing him of using Beanie for street cred and then tossing him aside once he wasn't useful anymore.
The question is, did Jay really call up them people? Just need to know to add them to the infested extermination list.
Listen, before I even got there to the building, you gotta understand this. It's all documented. This year's Powerhouse, Jay came last year. In the Philadelphia Daily News, the day after the Powerhouse, it had an article. And I didn't even go to the Powerhouse last year. It had an article in it. Inside sources say Jay-Z beefs up security and threat that a retaliation from Beanie Sigel for dropping him from the label.
This was in the newspaper.
It's in the paper. It's public record. Go. It's $20. You can search it and find it. It's public record. That was last year. So when I'm reading, it's like, damn, what the f? You know what I mean? Inside sources say.
Right.
Where that come from? I ain't never see the Powerhouse where they got boot cops walking around with K9s and all that shit. Go on the internet, Google it. Bernard Hopkins was there. I didn't even know Bernard was there.
Right.
Go to allhiphop.com. He confirms it.
So there you are, just like the song says.
Yeah, because what happened was, I stood right in and because they made sweeps. When I came in the building and people was going in the back and all that where the dressing rooms was at, we was standing in the back, me and my peoples or whatever. Bleak come out with 5 bodyguards. What's up, C? No, what's going on? Damn, what's up? What you doing? Who back there, Jay? Come on, let's go back there. And you keep on moving the conversation. You don't want to go back there. Your bodyguard's there, and I don't got no, you know what I mean, to pass. He was like, man, you need to come holler at the big hump. Man, dude, don't f with me. I ain't going back there. And that's what I told him. Big homie, don't f with me.
And Jay's response, cool as ice. He brushed it off like it was nothing, claiming Beanie just wasn't taking responsibility for his own choices.
Beanie Sigel is complaining a lot these days.
Well, he has a lot to complain about.
I know.
Not me.
Well, actually, this morning I just got a brand new interview. It's half an hour long, and he's talking basically about you, about the company, about basically how you didn't push him as much as, let's say, 50 Cent pushed some of his boys. How do you feel about that?
Well, Beanie Sigel at the time, and you can look it up if you like, just to be honest, was driving 2 Bentleys. I don't know how. It's impossible to drive 2 cars at one time. With his mama in the sticks and selling 800,000 records, I don't know what more can you do for somebody, at that point. What people choose to do when they attain that type of success, at some point you have to look in the mirror and look at yourself. Beanie Sigel had a record deal, a record label, and a clothing line. I mean, it never went platinum, ever. I don't know, in the history of rap, has anyone done so much with so little? So I don't even know what more can you do for a person at that point. A record label, a record deal, that's normal. A record label, and a clothing line. So if that's not pushing the person, I mean.
But to fans who knew the history, it didn't feel that simple. It felt like real pain behind those bars Beanie spit. Now fast forward to today, and Beanie seems ready to admit he made some mistakes. But the one he regrets most? Putting his trust in Jay-Z instead of Dame Dash. Dame recently spoke on The Art of Dialogue and didn't hold back. He called out Jay directly, accusing him of tricking Beanie and wrecking his career on purpose. According to Dame, Beanie wasn't just another rapper. He was supposed to be the future of Rockefeller, someone who could carry the whole movement forward. But instead of letting him shine, Jay allegedly kept him boxed in. Dame claimed Jay was making moves behind the scenes to make sure Beanie stayed blocked, never getting the chance to bounce back, even when he was ready.
Beans was getting ready. We thought he was going to go to jail for a couple years. He was on trial. So I was trying to make 4 albums for him, or 5. I was more bothered when Beans chose to go with Jay. That one hurt, because I'd done a lot and prepared. I chose State Property over Rockware, and I wanted to just roll out with State Property. But it almost like he tricked Beans to shelf him, and he fucked his life up to me doing that. But I had him, you know what I mean? Like, that was my new Jay.
And then came the twist. Beanie spoke up and basically co-signed what Dame said. He admitted he took Dame for granted and realized way too late who really had his back.
Dame actually came and got me when I got out of prison. And we was on a tour bus and they was interviewing me. And they asked me then and there on a bus. Now I'm just getting out of prison. Like, he at the jail picked me up. And they posed that question that I was, you know, or made the statement that I was going to be with Dame Dash Music Group. And I said then that I didn't want to make that choice between Jay or Dame. I just wanted to stay neutral. I believe if we had those conversations, I believe I would have rolled with Dame. I'd have rocked with Dame. Yeah, if Dame set me down and he had a plan, regardless what the plan was, and mapped it out like this was going to do, the smartest decision at that time for me would have rolled with Dame, because Dame was more accessible than Jay was. Dame was in the office every day. You could talk to Dame, you know what I mean? Dame used to come and chill on the block in South Philly. You know what I mean? Dame pull up in Biggs at Mom Duke's spot. So, yeah, I think if we would have sat and he would have showed me and explained to me, you know, our business plan and what we was going to do, that would have been an easy decision.
That kind of regret cuts deep, especially when you realize the person you stayed loyal to might have been the one holding you down, in the worst way. Now, when it comes to Jay-Z, Beanie didn't hold back. He said it straight up felt like Jay was making slick moves behind closed doors to keep him from leveling up. Beanie pointed out that Jay kept dropping his own albums right around the same time as his, and somehow, Beanie's record sales always seemed to hit a ceiling, like someone was putting a cap on how far he could really go.
I don't think one man could destroy another man's life. It's ultimately in your own decisions. You know, I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, you know, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. Like, I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close, and I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top. And it was like, damn, like, to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe.
Yeah, Beanie admitted he made some mistakes, especially with the legal trouble. But he also made it clear what Jay did wasn't just random timing. It looked like strategy, and not the good kind. Now fast forward to all these Diddy snitching rumors, and fans are starting to piece everything together. Jay-Z's got a long history of staying silent or straight up walking away when the pressure hits. From Beanie to others who once stood beside him, the pattern's getting harder to ignore. And now, it's starting to feel like karma might finally be knocking. If Diddy really decides to start naming names, who knows what hidden truths are about to come out. This could shake the whole industry if even half of it's real. So what do you think? Is Jay-Z finally facing the consequences of those behind-the-scenes betrayals? And if Diddy starts spilling everything, how deep do you think this goes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share if you're into the real talk. And don't forget to tap that bell so you don't miss the next bombshell. See you in the next one.